Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about and showing you wet specimen preserving dead animals, essentially. Now, it's called wet specimen because it's a type of taxidermy that involves using fluids rather than stuffing or embalming and other invasive methods. This is pretty not invasive, so you don't have to fiddle about on the insides of an animal or anything like that. So it's better a way to do it if you're a beginner or if you're initially a bit squeamish about dead animals. It's useful for both vertebrates and invertebrates. It's especially a way for vertebrates to keep the skin and other details, like this bird I have here, to keep details such as the feathers visible after death. So this bird I've previously done, and today we're doing a vertebra of a crab. Invertebra of a crab. This boy is pretty dirty, but hopefully he should clean up initially when he's in the solution. Now it's easy, well, it seems easy to get hold of initially from formaldehyde, but it can be expensive, dangerous to keep in the house, and if you're importing it from other countries it can often get stopped at customs. So usually use a mixture of ethanol. I bought this at a local hardware store. It wasn't too expensive at all, and it is a pure 95% plus ethanol. You need something with an alcohol level of above at least 70 purity, so it will make sure to not get, there's no other chemicals in there that could corrupt or corrode, otherwise damage your specimen. So I'm going to take this jar here. It's important you have a jar that's a good size and shape for your specimen, as you want to ensure that to display as best as possible. I initially had this bird here in here, but it just didn't look right. He just sat flat on his back and I didn't like that at all. So I placed him in a larger jar where he can sit upright, and it shows him off a lot better. So we're going to take, usually an animal will take a couple of baths first. Within the first couple of weeks or so you will not want to change out the liquid a few times, especially with vertebrates, as they will have a lot of seepage come out of them. Depends on how they died. Both of these animals I found, I didn't kill any animals for this. So if there was a traumatic sort of death, if there is a kind of injury, blood may pour from orifices initially when you submerge it, so you want to change the fluid out. And especially with some invertebrates, some parts may flake off, such as antennae or legs or stuff, so you want to change the liquid out. After a few baths it should be ready to go for indefinitely. So initially pour the fluid in first, up to a good level. You want to store this away from direct sunlight, you don't want to start exploding your house. And then, got to be very careful with your specimen as you don't want to damage it. Once rigor mortis is set in, it is pretty hard to position them, especially in vertebrates, because this is just a shell, there's no actual live tissue left. And with the bird, to be able to position it slightly, I had to freeze it once I'd gotten it, and while I was preparing everything, as it defrosted, I was able to position it, and before it completely defrosted and started to rot again, I placed it in the mixture for it to set. Now this guy doesn't seem to want to sink very well. A couple little bits have come off him already. I think that's some dirt and some seaweed. But eventually there is, maybe able to see some air bubbles escaping. He will eventually learn to sit in the bottom once the fluid does penetrate him. That's the thing with invertebrates, because their shell, it will take them longer for them to sit because the fluid has to go inside, because the shells and stuff are quite light. I'll let him sit there for a while. If I move him about too much, bits and pieces might start falling off. And the water is a little bit cloudy, as it will need changing in a few weeks. Well, a couple days initially, I'll see how it's doing. But no major damage to him so far, so eventually he'll be happy and set, as this guy I did over a month ago. That's it, it's that easy. Thank you for watching.